All right, we are back at the Global Diversity Summit. It's so great. Glad you guys have been on all over the world. I got two amazing guests here, and I'm so excited to be able to get both of them. I haven't seen them in the years, and they're just amazing. Both of them hidden pioneers. Jennifer, the youngest hidden pioneer. Tom, one of the first hidden pioneers. These
One of the
guys
oldest?
and gals do amazing. Yeah, and I'm the oldest. Thanks, Tom.
No, I'm the oldest.
I'm going to introduce Tom Matano. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself, and then we're going to have him talk about lovely Jennifer, what he's been doing to kind of help guide her and everything. But Tom, kind of tell us who you are and kind of your story a little bit, what you've been doing.
Well, I've been in the automotive industry designing for 30 years and then switched my path to education to download all the information I had over the years to younger generations. So free up my memory space to learn something new.
Wow, that's amazing. 30 something years now. You came over, from Japan at what age? And then you hit the ground running.
At age 21.
Okay. And what school did you attend here?
Well, I went to Art Center College of Design in now it's in Pasadena. It used to be in LA. Because I was an engineering student before I came over.
I see.
Switched to design.
I always talk about, Asia and Europe, how they're more stringent and they're more focused on the transportation and technology. And then we're so distracted over here. But now here you are coming over here to teach our kids. So we love you for that, Tom, because that's really what we need here in America.
No, I intentionally went to, came here, worked for GM in Detroit, and then I got a job in Australia, and then went to West Germany for BMW and came back. I really wanted to learn the German way of design, American way of design, and now, worked for Mazda. That was like learning the Japanese way. So it's kind of interesting to have a different way of designing.
A universal, a global approach. Love it. Kind of like NASA. So your student here, the lovely Miss Rodriguez, Jennifer. How did you come across, this lovely lady? I guess you're kind of like your student that you're mentoring.
Well, you, Bill, introduced to Jennifer what she does when she was a lot younger, I guess, and I was impressed. And next thing I know, that she was going to come into our school, and I say, I volunteer. I'm going to be Jennifer's godfather, whatever I need to be. And and ever since, we've been great friends.
Great. That was great to do that, Tom. I mean, because it's not easy. I mean, to get someone of your caliber. I mean, seriously. I mean, as busy as you are, all the stuff you're doing, everybody and their brother would want to line up, to get your time. And you were just so quick to, of course, me and you, we know each other. So you vetted, but Jennifer, what has it been like, getting, any of Tom's, attention at all? How's that been?
Well, it's been a great experience overall, learning the inside scoops of how, in his department, the industrial design is, learning how the department works, what they do, because of course I'm in a different major. So it's pretty different, but it's also the same in regards to design, creativity, all of that. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Now tell us about how we first met, because I know I want the world to know, because I'm still amazed how that happened. Can you kind of walk us through that time, I guess 3-4 years ago?
I was 17, I think, or 16. Mm-hmm. And we just had an event at school. I'm not entirely sure how it was organized, but that's when you, Prime Motivation, 360, John Chase from Hoonigan came and they, showed their cars. And that's basically how it happened, because I just came across it.
I remember specifically me asking you. I was looking for someone to do some kind of social media, Instagram stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then you amazed me because this was when like you were really into the whole social media stuff. Kind of talk about that because you had so many different. I mean, you were on everything. You had all your videos and stuff like that. I mean, you were like an expert then, and then you kind of stopped now because you started college. So let's go back to how you were able to be so good at that pocket computer, I call it.
Well, I don't know. It was kind of a thing where I just got onto it because everyone was doing it. I was on YouTube promoting on social media at one point Facebook, but I just stopped. And then, yeah, it was mostly YouTube and Instagram. And then when working with Prime Motivation, I was doing both of those too. But of course, like you said, over time, once I went to college, I kind of just stopped doing it. Not in depth with social media as much as I used to.
Well,
But you were very natural, though. I mean, the way you conducted the, scenario, what you talk about, it's all choreographed and so natural.
yeah,
And I was amazed, for your
yeah,
age to be that articulate and all. That's how I impressed about you to start off with.
yeah, it really was. It was kind of magic because I actually I was looking for that. Okay, well, you didn't know, and I used that to help open the doors. That's how I was able to get Larry Wood from Mattel. 50 years with Hot Wheels. Okay, Tom Matano. Okay, they saw that and they were very impressed. And so a lot of kids now, if they just use it the right way, but then at the same time, they have to know how to turn it off because I think now they're too much into the social media and they get distracted. So Jennifer, you were, man, it's just for you to be able to turn it off and get with Tom Matano and stay focused. Now you're in what? Your third year?
Ending my third year. Yeah, I'm about to. Yeah, almost done.
And one of the most, I mean, let's talk about this school. I mean, this isn't, I can remember you telling me something about that school. I mean, I think I had already knew Tom, and then you were saying that was the school you wanted to go to. Talk about that.
Well, I didn't know exactly growing up what school I wanted to go to, but I just liked Academy of Art because, I mean, it was 100%. How do I say it? Very accepting of every type of artist because most art schools nowadays only have illustration, animation. It's just very like, how do you say it?
Yeah, narrow
It's
focused
very
or
narrow and focused. Yeah, and it's very limited. While Academy of Art has fine art, illustration, animation, 3D design, industrial design, architecture. It's all into one, which was a good thing for me to, want and need in a school just because I needed that variety, especially because I didn't want to be in illustration, knowing that I wanted to be in fine art. It's very different in talking about specifics. But yeah, and then it wasn't too far, but it also wasn't too close. I just wanted a new experience of a different city, which was nice.
I see. Is there anything that you wanted to, you know, talk to Tom? I know you haven't seen him in a while. With this whole virtual thing. Your, I guess your mentor, your father. I mean, I have so much respect for him, and I really thank him for kind of looking after you because when you ask someone to mentor someone, you have to continue. You just can't do it for a little bit and then stop. So I think you're in great hands, and we're going to continue to look after you because we know that you're a shining star. I mean, Tom knew that in the very beginning. And every time I talk to Tom, how's Jennifer doing? Oh yeah, she's doing great. So I'm like, man, if Tom says that, that means it's great. So Tom, anything else on tell me about Jennifer. I know that you're really proud of her and you have any
I mean, not only she's talented, but she always continued to push harder, find new things to do, and learn something to do. I mean, something new techniques or whatever. She's always not standing still, and that's what I really like about her. But beyond that, is she got a great personality. I mean, that's that's the best. And so we missed once or twice semester lunches and discussions and all that.
Wow. What a great story to tell the world. I mean, if it's one story, and there's been many since this is like a journey for me, going to the high schools. I'm so passionate about it. And Jennifer, yours is definitely probably one of the best success stories. Okay. To be able to find you and to be able to link you up with Tom and to see you through. And I know you're going to do some great things. And now what you're doing, Jennifer, I'm not sure if you know, you're actually helping a lot of the I mean, I talk about you almost daily, and those same old videos that you did years ago, I play those. And a lot of the girls, right now I have 8 female students, and they actually look up to you and admire you. I just want you to know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So what you did and what you continue to do, you're changing young females' lives, all over the world. And we're going to put this out on a global scale. E360 TV is going to broadcast this, and we want you to. Now this time we want you to kind of get back on the social media a little bit and kind of toot your own horn and promote what you're doing, because you're amazing and you have an amazing instructor, mentor, Tom Matano. I mean, the guy that the Mazda Miata, it's just, I can go on and on about this legendary guy. I know he's so humble, but Tom, likewise, the way I talk about you to people, it's the truth. Okay. I like to tell the truth, no fake news. Okay. And sometimes people say, Bill, you're always promoting, I'm like, well, somebody has to. And I said, but I tell the truth. All the different people I've come across, I'm just so blessed and so lucky. And I got a lot of them that's going to be on these 2 days. I actually can have 3 or 4 days, to be honest with you. But you two, I'm just so impressed by what you guys have been able to do. I like the teamwork, and I look forward for you guys to mentor other students and teachers and parents, Tom, like what you're doing in San Francisco. I want to come there again soon, Tom.
Please do. Now, only thing is, I wish Jennifer is taking industrial design, then I could do more.
Yeah. Now, Jennifer, you kind of, now, last time I talked to you, I was kind of amazed and kind of impressed at the same time. You switched your major, right?
No. I've stayed in fine art.
Okay. But I think you were saying
she can take many classes as an elective and substitution. We have a very good way of it tailor-made to each one of the students. So she may come to our class for one day for drawing cards because she loves cards too much. So one day she may come over.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'd like that. Jennifer, have you been to Tom's studio?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I'm jealous. I haven't even been there. Wow.
It's really nice. Yeah.
I know.
Really great.
Now, Tom, when I went up there, I think, didn't we get together? But yeah. I didn't go. Why didn't I go to the studio?
I don't know what, we just met on the street outside of the school. You were passing by or something, just driving by.
Yeah, I was up there with,
northern side of like San Francisco and coming through down to LA back or something. You just didn't have time.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So I got to make sure that time thing again. It's always a time. But anyway, speaking of time, we're gonna wrap things up. But is there anything else? I know, Jennifer, that you want to say to the world?
That's kind of put into the spot. I guess just keep creating art, because whether or not people believe it, it's all around us. So we gotta be creative, not just stick to our 9-to-5 jobs.
Wow. So from a 17-year-old to you're what now, Jen? 20?
About to be 21.
Almost 21, almost officially legal, but you still have your dad and mentor, Tom Matano, up there, the great Tom. Is there any last words for? I really appreciate everything that you're doing, Tom. I really mean that. Every time I see like you're calling me or something or email, I get excited.
No, just always looking for the future. No matter what's happening around you, always look at the bright side and grasp what you can do to get there.
Well, there you have it. You haven't heard any negative from these two bright side positive people, and believe me, they've had some issues like we all have because of the COVID. I know Jennifer's dad caught the COVID. I talked to her, but she's still, she just stays positive. And I think with mentors like Tom Matano, always looking forward, this is going to be a better place and a better world. And we're here to teach the youth, okay, about transportation and technology. It's together and you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you can't. Thank you from around the world. You have the wonderful Tom Matano and Jennifer Rodriguez. Thank you.
Always inspired. Pretty much I grew up in Tokyo and was in the middle of the city. My great uncle had a car, big thick doors and air conditioning in a car that no houses had air conditioner then. So I remember ice cream never melted in that car. So I guess then I wanted to come to the States one day. I think that's how it started. I decided I'm going to try and apply for school for architectural environmental design. And I found a few schools, so I sent a portfolio. And of course, I got a letter back saying, your artwork is below our standard of acceptance, and your language skills way below our acceptance level. When I was in this design school, the assignment suggests like graphite pencils and graphite paper, whatever. I have to let my classmates write it down on a piece of paper, and I had to go to the art store to buy that materials. And then I had to practice at home before you get to do the homework. And then eventually coming to the senior level, we had a sponsorship project. And then I found it out one of the VP is coming to final presentation. So I studied what the VP did in his part, and I did one rendering that I felt he cannot refuse me. So overnight I did it the night before the presentation. It's got, not really related to the whole semester of development, but I felt strongly that I wanted to see whether my guess would work or not. And sure enough, at the end of the interview, he said, you want to come to Detroit? When I got into GM, it's the beginning of the first energy crisis. After a few years, I wanted to go to Europe. Then I asked for a transfer to Opel, but I couldn't get it. So I applied for different companies, and I got a job at BMW. So I moved to Munich in Germany, and the BMW there. And within maybe 6 months, I got a call from a friend of mine who worked at Mazda North America saying they're looking for chief designers. So I said, yes. I didn't get any detail, but I just said yes, because 20 below zero in Munich and that Southern California sounded so good. The following year, the 84, in May, I think, on the presentation, and we had 3 models for the Miata, one from Tokyo studio, one from Hiroshima studio, and one from us. And when placed the model in a big auditorium, everybody goes straight to our model. I always believe that design can talk to or make people to come to your design. And if you do that, it is successful. Like a Miata is like, this is a fun little car to drive, so why won't you come with me and go for a ride? That was a message. We put it into the design, and that day, everybody sort of swarmed around our model, and that was a hands down that the company decided that would be the way to go. No, I wrote the concept at the beginning, even though car wasn't really designing at the time. And I put the club activity is part of the concept. Most car companies just build the cars and club follows. But I had it in the concept. I wanted to do a culture instead of just, company produce cars and people buy it, but I want to have a culture around that car. And luckily enough, 25, 30 years later, we're still doing great. You can feel the design, not just looking at a design. And drawing is one thing, but a clay model has such a connection, and you can get exact flavor, nuances you want. And even hairline thickness change the character of the design, and no other medium can do such a subtle changes. I never had a kids of my own, and I come over here, I get 600 of them every year or something. It's amazing. What I'm doing is like downloading my knowledge of past 30 years to the students, and hopefully free up some memory space in my brain to learn something new, and that keeps me going.